was a descending scale passage harmonised with a series of first inversion chords. A first inversion chord, remember, is when the third of the chord is played in the bass, which means played as the lowest note. So if we take an ordinary C major triad, C is the root note, E is the third, it's 3 letter names above the root, and G is the fifth. And if we play it like that, with E at the bottom, the third, we say it's in first inversion. Now, it doesn't actually matter where you play the fifth and the root, as long as the third is the lowest note. So, for instance, we could play the third down there, we could play the root and then the fifth above it, we could play the fifth there, the root there, we could play 2 fifths with a root in between, or we could play 2 roots with a fifth in between. They're all first inversion chords. So let's simplify what I played at the first. I'm just going to play 3 note chords just with the right hand. So all we're doing there is just going from the C chord down to the next chord, chord 7, which is a B diminished, going down to chord 6, chord 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're all in first inversion. Now, this chord progression doesn't seem to follow the normal kind of guidelines or rules about where chords go to. Remember, in the other videos I've done so far, I've talked about tendencies that chords have to go to other chords in a particular key. For instance, chord 1 can go to any other chord. Chord 2, for the time being, we say usually goes to chord 5. Chord 3 usually goes to chord 4 or chord 6. Chord 4 usually goes back to 1 or to 5 or to 2. Chord 5 usually goes to chord 1 or chord 6. Chord 6 usually goes to chord 2, chord 4 or chord 3. And chord 7 usually goes to chord 1. But when we're doing it in a descending scale passage with a series of first inversion chords, it doesn't follow any of those patterns, but it works really well. And it's often used in music as a kind of little filler in between themes. Now, what I did at the beginning was just to stylise it a little bit. So I was playing those voicings in the right hand, but I was also playing another third down there in the left hand, and I was breaking it up. So I was playing I'm playing the top 2 notes first, then the bottom one, then going back to the top 2 notes, and they're both these are 8th notes or quavers, and then that's a crotchet. The left hand, I'm playing a dotted crotchet followed by a quaver. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and so on. Now, you can stylise it in other ways. You could just play a series of descending broken chords. You could play the broken chords the other way, starting off going up and then coming down. Up, down. You could double the top note and play a broken chord like this. Go. So that would sound. There's lots of ways you can arrange that, and it just gives it a bit more character and style. So have fun inventing your own variations on that. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.